Alright, hopefully this will be a good one. And it is good for submitting. So, GOG Nux. Perfect. Conjure any percent. I'm gonna name my guy Most Fancy because he's pretty fancy. Let's give him some red hair. I like red hair. Really, he's got a burning desire for good and white skin. He's kind of like a vampire, I guess.
When following, I'll bring you no further, lad.
Oh wait,
Too many prying eyes.
Oh wait, no, right, yeah, okay. So we're good. All right, and I'll start it, and I can't split, so I'm gonna have to alt tab into the splits, but that's all right.
We get by air to the village.
Alright, so this game is, you'll notice, first of all, this game came out almost like simultaneous with Diablo 2, so it was very overshadowed. Nox is a great game, but didn't get the attention that it deserved because of Diablo 2. That's just my opinion, maybe there were other things involved, but the shadows are very active, and you'll see that makes the game have a very, not dark look to it, very, I don't know. I just think it looks really cool. So the one thing to note in this game throughout the run, and is very conducive to the big trick that we do for the whole run, is physics. So everything has physics and momentum and not weight to it, but things will push other things out of the way. So you'll notice when I run into a door, I have to kind of like push the door open. When I run into an enemy, I have to kind of push the enemy out of the way. So that pushing mechanic and those physics are very important to the run and to how we are able to run this game in any percent and skip a lot of the intended pathways. So, alright, that was pretty good split. I think I'm going faster because I was timing it wrong previously too. I would start the timer before I even accepted the character creation. So we have these necromancers. We're a conjurer, so we're supposed to be like charming and summoning creatures and really at one with nature. We get access to a lot of like nature spells like poison and stuff. But we're really not going to be doing any of that. We're mostly just going to be using apples to accomplish the tasks that we're looking to do. So apples are the main or bumping is the main mechanic in the game that we use to pass things. So this will be the first example of it. Oh, let's see. We are going to use 3 jugs of apple cider to bump into that door, which hits the trigger for loading the next level. Normally that door is locked and you can't access it, and there's a little trigger box outside that door, but if, like I was mentioning before, there's physics in this game, so if you put some things directly on your feet, the game needs to spread those things out. It needs to be able to have everything in its own little situation. Its own little location, rather, not situation. So it pushes you away, and in doing so, you bump through the little crack between those 2 doors, and you hit the trigger for the next level, and so you just go to the next level, because there's nothing else you really need to get there. You just need to hit that trigger box. So now, we have already, ostensibly, talked to Alduin, the Master Conjurer. We're a Conjurer Initiate, so he has told us that if we want to be a Conjurer, we need to go to the Mana Mines, and we need to help these miners who are mining these Mana Crystals escape from their current situation.
5 workers. Let's go. Follow me. Over here.
We're going there. This guy is going to kind of like tell us what we need to do, but he's really slow, so we just run past him and we do it ourselves because we already know the secrets. We know the buttons to press. The humongous red button on the wall. Very, very sneaky. So these blue imps are probably like the biggest pain in the butt in the beginning of the game. And ironically, the next enemy that really gives us trouble is the evolution of the imp. But for right now, we only have to worry about imps. And the reason why there's so much trouble is because their projectiles fly so quickly. So again, in this game, there's physics and there's lots of object collision. So the imps shoot these little yellow beams of light, and they anticipate your movement. So they calculate your current velocity, and they shoot where you're going to be. So we can't really dodge them because they fly so fast. A lot of other projectiles in the game don't fly as quickly, so they're actually quite simple to dodge. But the imp projectiles, there's just no getting around them because they fly so quickly. And there's two other kinds of projectiles that will give us a lot of trouble later in the game, like I had said before. But right now, it's just imps. And imps aren't too bad because we can kill them very quickly with our staff. So that's the good news. But we have to keep on top of it because at this level we have such low health that really like 3 hits from an imp will kill us. That was really bad. I should not have used my health. Okay, well, sometimes you take deaths in this game. Luckily, the saving and loading system in this game is very quick, so we don't have to worry too much when we take a death. That was my own error by dying there. We have a healing spell. That was the second spell that we picked up. And that is basically the main spell that we will be using the entire run. There are 4 other spells that we'll have, technically 5. There's one spell that we use very briefly at the very end of the game. But until the end of the game, we just have those 5. And we'll pick them up somewhat quickly. That was not great. I shouldn't have used my health potion there, but, you know, panic sets in and you just hit the health button. So like I said, we have the healing spell right now. The other spell that we have down there you've seen me use a couple times. It's called Pixie Swarm. It's a very low damage spell. It casts 2 yellow pixies that automatically fly around you and auto aggro to some enemies. Again, it's very low damage. Wow, hopefully I can click things. That will help with the speedrun if I am able to click on the things that I need to click on. And this is not good. It's a very bad situation. Since I took so long to get that, there's certain global timers to... Oh my gosh. There are certain global timers to when units will be in certain areas. And so those spiders are there, which makes it very difficult for me to... Wow, am I going to be able to get past this? It makes it very difficult for me to kill those 3 imps. And since I can't kill the 3 imps, I have to run through there almost ignoring them, which is what I did. There's always another way around things if the main plan doesn't work. Flexibility is key in speedrunning. I guess unless you get to, like, you know, Mario levels where precision is everything. But at least in this, you just have to make sure that you're rolling with the punches if anything goes wrong. Because things will go wrong. Why? Oh, no. Well, I don't know how I did that, to be honest. But you can cast spells to target other people. Wow, this is not going good. Okay. Ignore these. The guys, the little miners that I'm rescuing, are really great meat shields because it's almost impossible for them to die against these enemies. They just are stacked with so much health. And actually, they have about the same amount of health as I should have right now. But I haven't really been... I didn't do the first couple quests, so... And I'm also naked because I sold all my clothes, so... Alright, so I'm a little bit behind the times, but I think I'm actually still on personal best pace. Okay. I'll explain what that was. Those white lines is a level up. The amount of XP that I've been getting is just bare bones enough to be able to level up when all the miners are saved. I went up the ladder without the miners. Ideally, I think they wanted you, I should say, to go with the miners to get the miners up the elevator, and then you make sure everyone's there, and then you level up. But if you walk up the ladder, your friends, and especially as a conjurer, this is very applicable, but I won't be summoning anything. Your friendly units that are following you will always... there's pretty good AI in this game to try and meet up with you. So those miners got up the ladder themselves, and they...
I have a feeling we could be...
And then I leveled up because I had already left. But they know generally where I was going, and they tried to meet up with me. That was pretty bad. A lot of times this elevator cycle will be such that you can get that health potion and you don't lose any time, because the elevators on that global timer will be in the same position anyway, so you can just get down. So we saved all the miners, and now we're going to the land of the dead. There's been word that Hecuba has been seen here, so we're going to her to see what she's doing. And she is a necromancer queen, so it makes sense that she would be in the land of the dead. We're just... actually, you know what? I guess it's been so long since I did the story, I actually don't really remember the pretense of going here. But she is a necromancer, we're here, and we're going to see what's going on. I like to let these two skeletons kill themselves just as a tradition. Loses me about 2 seconds, but so it goes. And oh, there she is.
Yeah.
So I'm skipping over all the story. She's trying to get control of these zombies. This is where we find out that she's a necromancer and she's raising the dead. Also, these guys are her little crony necromancers. Now we're going to have another example of the bump. This is a load bump, so we can save and load. And the one thing that is kept between loads is momentum. So when we cause these massive collisions, we will get sent backwards, and when we load into the game, that momentum will be saved, and we will blow through the 2 doors, similar to how we did with the trigger at the beginning of the game. Now, unfortunately, this has taken me 4 tries. That's better than 10, but normally... I'll get in the groove eventually and just be doing them each time. But a lot of times it does take a few chances, especially with the load bumps. I don't know if that's the official name, that's just what I call them. This one I should be able to do without, as long as that zombie doesn't come and hit me. Oh my god, the positioning for that was very difficult. You have to hit a very specific pixel. Well, that's not true. You have to make sure that you're facing the right way, because the collision will push you back from whatever way you're facing. So it took me a second to get that right direction, but here we are, we did it. Go team, we did it. Now we're coming up on the first real mini-boss. He is a warrior, an undead warrior of great renown, and he's going to come kind of wreck us. But luckily we have Burn. What Burn does is it just creates a little fire on the ground and deals constant damage to anything that's standing in it. A lot of times that won't be very much damage because things move a lot, but we are casting a lot of burns in the same place, so it does a lot of damage. Because that damage stacks, and we will be using that for almost every boss in the game. Is just casting burn under them, keeping them standing in the same place, and destroying them that way. Oh, I missed. There are spiders in this game, and that's what I was just burning up there, that cast a little sticky web and slow us down, and as a speed run, we want to go as fast as possible, so I like to try and kill that guy before we get there with a little burn spell, but I missed. He's pretty easy to dodge. There are some spiders later in the game that can really ruin our day, but right now we're not going to be surrounded, or we're not under high pressure, so we can easily dodge them. The spiders, those webs, are another thing that have that that have the estimation of momentum, where they follow you. So they lead their shots. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. So they lead their shots, and so that's another one that's pretty annoying to try try and dodge. But they're a lot slower than the imp projectiles and some others. So those pads that I've been walking through that have the huge fists, it's called Fist of the Heavens. It's a huge stone fist that comes down, and I like to trigger them. It's really scary when you're playing casually, because you're like, oh man, I'm just going to get crushed. But if you just walk over them, you're fast enough that you get out of their hitbox and you don't get hit by them. I'm gonna be picking up a little bit of gold. This isn't really like, this is more of like a safe. Goodness me. This isn't really like the fastest strat, but it's a very live run safe strat, which is really fun. So here is the first example of a boss that we do not use this on. This is a undead. Oh my goodness, this one is calm down. He likes to teleport around and be invisible. So we need to catch back up with him. I did a lot of fireballs on that. So again, we're just doing a real-time safe strat here. Probably lose about 15 seconds picking up that gold, but that's not bad. That's a personal best. So good stuff there. Hello, Horvath. So we managed to find out that Hecuba is a necromancer, and her plan is to raise all the dead and take over everything. So now Horvath, who is the archwizard, has come to us, and he's saying that we need to get the Amulet of Teleportation, because... What? There's usually an axe there. And there! Very odd, the axes are not coming. So we need to get the Amulet of Teleportation and take it away from Hecuba, because she's going to be using it for very salacious activity. No, not salacious. Very untoward activity. So it is located... Or the ogres have stolen it, so we are going to the ogre village to try and get it back. I'm picking those items up some for selling, some for pressure pads later, and I'll be picking these up as well for a skip very late in the game, and I use meat for it, basically for no reason, just tradition, because I like meat. I do a skip with the jugs of cider, I do a lot of apple bump skips, and then I like doing my meat as the last skip, because meat! It's just a big piece of meat. Why would you not use meat for a meat skip, right? It's not called a meat skip. I just call it that because I'm wrong. Alright, so we're running through all the ogres here. The ogres have I don't know why they make it, why they made their little village, or why the hamlet of Bryn, which is where we just were, made their village so close to the ogres, but it's not very far of a walk. We're doing another apple bump here. Hopefully I can get this one on the first try. There we go, that should be good. Normally there's a very long roundabout to get in here, and then you can unlock this gate as well, but we don't care about locks because we have apples, and apples make locks very silly. Oh, that's not good. I believe the apple bump load save load is frame perfect. If it's not frame perfect, it's very close when you load the game, because you are... Oh, that's great. Yeah, so the ogre lord that we're fighting here is pretty strong, especially compared to what we have for armor, or non-existent thereof at the moment. Luckily, we have a fireball staff, which makes things very simple. All this meat. All right, good. I'm maxed on meat. That's good. What was I talking about? Overlord. It's difficult. Well, not that difficult, I guess. We just have to be very careful not to get hit, and we're fine. Oh, that's... The regular ogres are also very strong. Ogresses with the axes are very slow in their attacks, so they're quite straightforward to dodge. Whereas the ogres are very, very fast. But the ogres have no range. The ogresses have very long range, so if you try and run away from an ogress directly, then her axe will still hit you. But we don't have to worry about that, because we're out! Well, no, now we're out. So we got the Amulet of Teleportation, we've saved the world. Well, we think we've saved the world. And now we're headed back to the Hamlet of Bryn, and Horvath will meet up with us, and we will tell him that we have the amulet and everything is fine. And nothing else bad can happen, because everything is great. Oh! Yeah, everything dies when you come back. Get rid of those two, I'm not going to use them.
Go!
Alright. So we're above time, even with my oopsies in the mana mines. That means that if I didn't die in the mana mines, we'd be well above time, which would be nice. Alright, so now Horvath has sent us to go get the staff, or to assemble the Staff of Oblivion. Or actually, no, someone, the airship captain has sent us to assemble the Staff of Oblivion. So we're heading over to the Wizards area, which is where we are now, to get it, because Horrendous is his name, currently has the staff, and we're going to tell him that we need it. Please give it to us, thank you. And we'll see what he says. Now, when we got here, we noticed that there are a lot of undead, which means that a necromancer has come along and is assaulting the keep, essentially, of the warriors. So we're supposed to break into that and fight off all the undead, but we don't really care about that, so we're just going to run past it instead. There's a lot of secret doors here in this Warrior's Keep, Horrendous's Keep. So we're taking full advantage of those and skipping a whole bunch of keys that we would otherwise have to pick up. And here we have a back door into his throne room, and here we have Horrendous. Hello, Horrendous. Horrendous is in complete control. Oh my gosh, Hecuba, out of nowhere, shows up with one of her Necromancer cronies, and Horrendous challenges her to one-on-one combat, and you can see he doesn't do so well in that one-on-one combat. And they tell me, don't follow, we have the staff. If you come any closer, we will kill you. Even though I've been, like, following them since the Land of the Dead. I don't know why they think what they say will have any effect, but nonetheless. So we need to pick up a lot of this because we're going to be doing some shopping coming up, and we need a lot of gold for that shopping. But luckily, we can't wear this armor, so we just get to sell it anyway. When warriors get there, they get some pretty nice plate armor. Obviously, they can wear plate armor of warriors. They're the only class that can do that, but I think by that point they probably have better armor anyway. I actually don't remember, it's been a long time since I played the warrior campaign. So here, we're supposed to go through a whole puzzle thing. Oh, dang it. I'm gonna load that just because if you come in, wow. If you come in at the right direction, that's a very, very simple, very straight fight. And I guess you can see from my personal best up there that I have done it that way before. There we go. All done. So now we have the staff, because we picked it up from that necromancer who was holding it. Alright, now, oh, I'm way down too much. Okay, drop one of those. Now we're at the wizard's area. We have the staff. We're of the Staff of Oblivion. There are 3 components. Now we need to get...
I can't believe the wizard lost control of their tower. Bad tidings indeed. Better stop while you can.
We need to get the Orb of Nox, which will give an electrical attack to this staff. This staff is indestructible and it's very strong, and we'll be using it basically till the end. We don't really do much damage in melee, but it's a lot better than nothing.
In the tower, eh? You're going to need magic.
Now, normally those are the only 2 things I get, stun and
I'm just about ready to
the
pick
boots
up
of
and move out.
speed.
Everything's
But I also
on
buy
schedule.
these when I'm doing like real-time runs, which is I guess always, because I want to be safe, because there's So much going on here. Alright, so ogres are in the tower. We were supposed to just walk in and get the orb. Horvath was just going to give us the orb, but there are ogres in the tower, so it turns out that when they had the Amulet of Teleportation, a lot of them teleported into the tower. We're going to pass by that entire level. There's, I think, 5 floors to this, maybe 6, and we're going to bump through most of them. There's another one. Another gate. That was a good bump. Nice, 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 nice. So those imps are going to be the next headache in our lives, and actually it's only for this level, but their fireballs also anticipate our movements, and they kill us essentially in one hit. So the reason why I bought the fire protection clothing is specifically for these imps and their fireballs, because I will probably die here at least once, but with the fire clothes I can at least pretend like, oh my, hopefully, okay, that's not great. The wizards and ogres and imps will be fighting randomly throughout the levels, and the wizards know where the teleporting pads are, so they will. Oh my gosh! You'll see these fireballs just fly in from nowhere for no reason, and they will kill me a lot. You can kind of pause very briefly, and that will mess up the anticipatory motion of the fireballs, because they will be casting from when you moved. But okay, that went really well. I needed to pick up 2 items there, a fireball staff and a crossbow. Technically you don't need to pick up the fireball staff, but that went very, very quickly, and that was very good for me, because you can die. I have died more than 50 times trying to accomplish that. Alright, so this is going pretty well. Dodging these fireballs pretty easily. I'm making this look a lot easier than it has been in the past, so I guess that's good, right? That's why I'm doing it. Oh no. But you can see, even with all of the tricks that I have, that sometimes they'll still get me. That's alright. That's part of the fun, right? This could be... yeah, what should I do here? Okay, health potion if I need it. I don't even need it! Oh my gosh, look at that. This is brilliant. This is wonderful. Alright, so now we're in the last non-boss area. Oh my! So the imps will prioritize, like, meleeing you if you're close enough. So oftentimes that first one doesn't try and cast a fireball, but I guess today he was feeling adventurous and decided to throw out a fireball. But that's alright. That's why we're glad that there's a fast save and load. So again, to give you an idea of what I'm doing with these apple bumps here, I'm taking these apples, dropping them at a specific pixel on my feet, accepting the drop, closing the inventory, and then auto-loading. Loading the auto-shave, I should say. So I have to click 3 buttons within about 2 frames. And, well, of course, now that I'm talking about it, I can't do it. I was doing it nice and smooth earlier in the run. Now it's giving me a pain. No, I don't think that'll do it. Dang it. Well, I was on a really good time. Well, I think I can do this. I think I can still beat PB. There we go. That should be good. You can usually tell from the small frame. I'm sorry, the pixel frame. Whatever, you can tell just by the movement of when you load how things are going to go. So I cast a couple burns there because these 2 wizards in the back have to kill those ogres, and it can take them a while if they're not feeling, or if they get hit by these shurikens, because those ogre lords throw shurikens. So if the ogre lords... Oh no, I was so close! If the ogre lords keep hitting them with shurikens, then they're... it's a big pain in the butt. Wow, okay, so I have to... I am. There we go. Oh! Oh, I didn't. Well, that didn't go so hot, but that's alright. I'm only losing a little bit of time. You can also quick load and then cancel because it has a little prompt if you want to make sure that you want to load. And in that, you can just cancel out of that prompt, but it doesn't keep you frozen like that. So we'll be using that, especially in this chapter, to save 10 or 15 seconds because those animations are very slow. So first things first, we've gone through all of this. We have the staff. We have the Heart of Nox. The Heart of Nox, not the Orb of Nox. Did I say Orb of Nox before? And now we need to get the Weirdling. And with the Weirdling, the Heart of Nox, and the staff, we will have the Staff of Oblivion almost done. It will have a regular, a very strong attack. It's indestructible. It will have that lightning component from the Heart of Nox. The Weirdling will give it a slight vampirism effect. So any attacks that I do with it will heal me for a good bit of life. But it's not fully completed yet, and you'll see later on what the completed Staff of Oblivion will do. And that's very strong. So, here we're going through this Temple of Ix, where these conjurers have been kind of like recluses for hundreds and thousands of years. Oh, right, here's another apple bump. Because they're guarding the Weirdling. It's this, like, old magic. Nope, dang it. Okay. Sometimes these bumps can be a real pain in the bump. Pain in the bump. So we're about to come up on the most notorious enemy from this level, which are these observers. Luckily I have Counterspell, but they are a real pain in the butt because they cast slow. They cast Energy Bolt, which is like a lightning spell that deals constant damage over time to you, and a lot of damage at that. And they also have Spark, so you can't really touch them because they will kill you if you do. While they have that spell active, you'll notice that I did accidentally just touch one there, but he hadn't cast the spell yet, so it didn't do anything. I'm pretty low on health. We're only going to see one more observer here. Yeah, okay, so good. And now I can hit some mana crystals, do some healing, and get going. You can see, if you hit the right patch of crystals, it'll only take about a second to fully heal up on mana. So a lot of times it's worth going out of the way to get that. Although, if you optimize, you really don't have to hit any mana crystals because you'll just get a small amount of like passive mana regeneration as you walk by. But it's alright. It's worth a second just to be safe. Oh, that was not great. Those little polyp things explode into toxic clouds of gas. And then poison doesn't really do much damage in this game unless you get really, really, really poisoned. So, the Conjurer actually is the only class that gets a Cure Poison spell, but it's not worth getting. You can see it's doing like 1 damage every 5 seconds. So. These green balls shoot out little, it's called a force of nature, and they shoot out small little particles like that, that deal a lot of damage when they hit you. The orb itself will literally kill you if it hits you directly. I got hit by a slow spell, so you can see why those guys are so annoying, because they slow you down to a crawl, and then they start casting that energy bolt, and it just rips through you. now I'm in this fight. I think I need that. This is the mini boss fight before the Weirdling. Man, I'm below time. I'm surprised. I guess all those bumps not working. That's killing me here. I had a really fast teleport room though. That can really take a long time, and I'm surprised I'm behind time with that. But all right, so these guys are normally pretty intimidating, but all right. So there's an example of a quick load where we don't, where we save a lot of time. There's another one. I missed the cycle on the elevator. That's not too bad. Oh man, okay, I don't even need that gold. I was getting it as I walked by for a, a real-time safe strat, but that's okay. So now we've got the Weirdling, the Heart of Nox, and the Staff. So we're almost there. We're at the Dismal Swamp to get to Hecuba's main stronghold. So now we meet these Venus flytrap plants. They're pretty annoying, but they are stationary. So if you cast a burn spell underneath them, they will die, no matter what. I cast it on as many as I reasonably can because they are worth... Oh, darn. They are worth a lot of XP. So I do that... They also do a lot of damage, as you can see. So I try and burn them out because they have a lot of XP, and the main way of becoming more survivable in this game is to have... to level up. And so there's not a whole lot of ways that we come across XP early on, and the fly traps are a huge source. So I try and kill them so that I can level up faster, which makes it less likely that I will die in the long run. These wasps can poison you, as you can see, so that's unfortunate. That was nice. Those shades are very, very fast, and they can do almost critical damage. So it's nice that he didn't chase after me. A lot of times you'll have to... Oh, that's not great. So here we are with... doesn't happen there very often. Normally I level up after that fight. Those were Dryads. They are pretty annoying. They cast a really high-level Pixie Swarm, which is actually the same spell we were using at the beginning of the game with Imps. And they also cast Slow and a couple other things. But we make pretty quick... We make that fight pretty quick just by burning underneath them, because if we don't move, they kind of don't really know what to do. They're very evasive, and they try and get within a certain distance of you. But if you don't move, they're not trying to evade, so... They just end up standing there.
You truly tempt fate by coming here, stranger. So, would you like to arrange funerary services, or might you desire to purchase goods?
Oh shoot, I bought the wrong one. Alright, that's fine. That's okay. It's just gonna be a slightly slower boss fight. That guy has Burn and Stun, which are two of the main spells that I use towards the end of the game. Burn is the better spell to have because it's more damage. And we want to kill bosses faster, but I bought Stun. That's okay. If I pass for a lot of gold, then goodness me, then I will get both of them. But if I only have enough money for one, I'll typically get the burn spell because damage. That's not great. That elevator again is on a global cycle. We don't need to kill anything there. We're just running through. Now we're running through the ogre stronghold in the swamps. This is generally a pretty difficult, long area, but the way that we're playing, we don't care about long. We just run past everything. This Ogre Lord's a real meanie. We need to kill those two guys, and then a key magically appears. Through here, I just kind of run and hope, because again, the global cycles are too hard to anticipate. So I just kind of run through and hope that I don't get squished there. Even if you do get squished, you generally don't take much damage. But Alright, I set myself a pretty high bar here for my splits. Let's see if I can do this. I got 3 minutes to do this. It's easy peasy. So we made it through the swamps. We're now... Oh, actually, no, let's just go through there. We're now in this cold, dark cave. We're still in the land of the dead. But... Oh my. So scorpion poison is actually quite potent. I think I'll still be okay. Those spiders are the ones that are the worst in the game, and we have avoided both of them, so that is very good news for us. Come on! Oh my! Okay. Those mimics, as you can see, do very critical damage. But we have enough, just barely, with the armor that I got from before to kind of shrug it off. I guess actually with 7 health potions, I don't need to get that. I like to get that health potion, again, as some more security. I like to run a little safer. But it looks like maybe I didn't need to, because we have so many. I got 2 minutes for this. The aggression of enemies takes a bit to catch up, so you'll notice sometimes we'll run by whole groups, and they just won't move. Because unless you actively attack something, they don't always immediately run to you. But there's also like ranges of acquisition things, but it's not. Oh, I'm using the wrong weapon here. Okay, so that wasn't great. Oh, nope. Wow. The crossbow is very strong, but it has a downside, which is you need to stand still to reload it. So while I'm reloading, I am basically completely vulnerable. In fact, I am literally completely vulnerable. I want to... Here's a lich. It's the first lich that we're coming across. They will be around again. Nice, nice. We're ahead of time. So we did so well on that. Wow, we saved over a minute on that. That was a great Land of the Dead. Oftentimes the Dryad fight, just because of how I come into it, is pretty difficult. And you have to... You take a lot of damage doing the stand still and burn method. It keeps the Dryads from not moving, which ultimately saves way too much time. But nonetheless, it's still... you need to heal a lot. Alright, so now we're in the Land of the Dead, Hecuba's fortress, essentially. And this is where the orb... Dang it. This is where the Orb of Oblivion is being kept. And when I get the Orb of Oblivion, I will complete the Staff of Oblivion. So these are the last terrible enemies in the game for us. They are so horribly annoying. They are like imps on steroids. So they are gargoyles. They shoot similarly in style and speed to imps. They have a very fast projectile, except it does like quadruple the damage. So I don't know why I'm getting those. I don't need to get them. I'm sorry, those, I mean the quivers that are coming out of those sarcophaguses. But anytime we can, we want to avoid engaging with gargoyles. So there are 4 here, and we are killing them. Just to make sure, there's pressure pads there that I always use, as is tradition. Forget about. Luckily, gargoyles do not have much health, so we can dispatch them relatively quickly. They do shred through armor, though, so my armor will probably break, but that's alright, I'm used to that. I like to cast a meteor there because it will help interrupt some of the spell casting. Oh my. That fiery flaming ball that we're casting is called Meteor, and earlier on in the run, that was one of the first things that I bought a second hookup because a level 2 Meteor is so powerful. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, everything's awful. So those are ghosts. You might have noticed, I can't remember if I got hit this run before, but ghosts don't really do much damage. Their big thing is that they stun you when they hit you for about 2 seconds. And at speedrun, stunning is a no-no. So I've already lost the mental game. I've been stunned by a ghost. But that's okay, we'll carry on anyway. Here's another Book of Burn. We want that spell to be as high as possible, because it is our second main source of damage to the final boss. Kill this bat, and that is a vampire! And he's easily dispatched with fire. Wow, that was a risky gamble. One hit, it's a vampire, so obviously vampires are equipped with purple warhammers. And if I get hit by that warhammer, I am dead. It is a one-hit kill, regardless of what kind of armor I would be wearing. I believe if I had been playing correctly and I was a slightly higher level and I had good armor, I would be able to survive one hit as a conjurer. As a wizard, it is absolutely a one-hit kill. A warrior can kind of go toe-to-toe with them. So here we have this big old room where we have to fight a lich, and we don't actually have to do anything because we can just hit that lever and we're home free. Now we have a bunch of gargoyles coming. Gargoyles will be one-hit killed by my meteor, so that is what we try and use to dispatch them. There's a ghost there, and he only recently started aggroing on me. I guess I switched my path up or something, and he is coming to me. But he never used to fight me. Now he's fighting me all the time. I take my time there just because, again, they can really ruin your day. This is a mechanical golem, and he is pretty much the worst. He is actually not a one-hit kill. Oh. Okay, so he'll be mostly a one-hit kill. But we, since we're using the crossbow as our main source of damage, we want to try and... Oh my. He's very vulnerable. Oh gosh. He's very vulnerable to electrical damage, but we don't have a good source of electrical damage as a conjurer. So, oh nice. Okay, so that was a really good example of the aggression AI not really picking up very much. That's pretty close. Did not like that. Hit these two buttons, which will open some walls, and then we can do the maze, as I call it. Oh, whoops. Alright, so these guys are a real pain in the tuchus. Lots of gargoyles coming out. I'm going to be using my staff mostly for this, because, nope, I went the wrong way. I did go the wrong way. Just because it's so much faster to do, and it doesn't use my mana resource, which is very limited. These guys will group up if I go around a corner, and then I don't have to... Whoa, that was a little close. I can just use a single meteor spell, because the meteor spell at our level is quite costly in terms of mana. I have some mana pots, but I want to save them for later, just in case something goes wrong with, like, the lich fight. So now we're onto the other side. Not as many imps on this side. I think I can run through most of this, and they don't really stay stuck on me. Obviously, exceptions. Get them, and them, and this one dude. Alright. So again, should be able to run through most of them. Don't really care. The gargoyles should be about the same speed as you, but with the, whoopsie, with the corners and everything, they don't maintain aggression. So these balls are a little bit of a pain. They will send you flying if you hit one, which is what just happened. So jumping removes collision on most things below you. There are some exceptions to that. You can't jump over like golems. For some reason, wolves count as continued collision. So we're going to burn this guy out. That was not good. I don't know if we're going to be able to kill him. Okay, we did. Good. And then we have the meat skip. This is what I was referring to earlier in the run. That is a great setup for meat skip. Hopefully this works. It worked! So those purple lasers are an immediate death if you touch them. But since we're going so fast, the game never registers that we were actually even there. And it just kind of... Here's a good example of what happens if you touch one of those lasers. So the game just blows through us, and we kind of teleport to the other side, and that saves us quite a lot of time in the end. These lasers are a big pain, because you run through, and then this last one lasts just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer, just enough to mess you up. Okay, that's one of them. These are the only... These are the biggest pain in the butt liches. Oh my gosh. You can see why their spell pushes you back very slightly. And then he knocked off. Nice. Oh no! That was such a good counterspell. Alright, so liches cast Confuse, which makes you run in a weird pattern. Luckily we were already down the elevator when it hit us, so we can dodge those two. But we have to kill it first too to trigger it. This is the big main lich. Arch Lich is his name. I don't know. I had this strategy guide when I was like 12, but it's been a long time. I don't remember what his official title is. Good, 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 good. We got a pretty good cycle here for these lasers. So we're... Oh, nope, I missed it. Oh, now I'm dead. Like this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So again, these little rotating lasers are one-hit kills. That was the wrong one to turn on. No, come to me. Dang it. Come here. Oh no! Oh no, that's really bad. What do I do here? Okay. We can. That's so slow. So how's everyone doing? They're not the smartest enemies. They will path directly to you. Yeah. All right. I think I'm beating my personal best here. So now we have the Staff of Oblivion, and you'll see what the Staff of Oblivion is capable of. Now it's very powerful, but it's still possible for me to die here. So I need to be careful and make sure that that doesn't happen. The way that the Staff of Oblivion targets and or finds targets, I should say, is not great. So sometimes it'll cast out if I'm like pointing in blackness. A big thing in this game with spells and with weapons is that if you're aiming at a point in darkness, you won't be able to do it. So I'm guessing it's yelling at me for that. Wow, I lived through that. That is uncommon. I guess I know what I'm doing. Imagine that. Alright, so there's one more, but I can... Wow. Leave it to the Lich to cast Stun. Oh man, I forgot they cast Stun, because it's just so uncommon for them to. There's Hecuba, she's teleporting away. So each class will have a different final fight. The one that the Conjurer has is pretty straightforward. We just have to kind of fight through some ogres. So now we should be able to do this quickly.
You shall pay for this.
Hecuba will try and find you after her first teleport, and we're going to abuse that, and we're going to kill her immediately. There we go. We'll cast Burn underneath her while we're using the staff, and we have failed. Okay. Yeah, so now she's going to teleport away each time we hit her because she's... Oh, alright, well, we would have had personal best, but that's okay. That's a live run, you never know what's going to happen. Wow, yeah, so her Death Ray can do pretty critical damage, as you can see. So,
You shall pay for it.
come back, come back. A lot of times this will happen in the first... There we go. We did it. I don't know why you level up right at the end there, but that was a pretty good run. So that's Conjurer. Any percent of Nox? Yeah. Enjoy. You get a little cinematic at the end. I think it's going to go to a small screen, but I can re-full screen it. That's a nice little outro if I need for something. I don't know.
You tried to kill me, but you failed. Perhaps you'd like me to show you how it's done. Woo! You missed. I see you're a failure as a conjurer as well. Huh? What are you doing?
Open the door.
Let me go!
I didn't miss. Now stay there. Here. Why don't you keep this?
Thank you, lad. A fine trophy of a hard-won battle. I'll treasure it for the rest of my cloud-sailing days.
Take me home, Captain. Let's see if we can't find you a plug for this thing.
Congratulations,
All right.
Conjurer.
And that's it. Bye.